it's your girl Sophi B, and today I'm going to show you how to lock your hair. And I'm going to show you the method that I use on myself and the method that I think works for any hair type, and it works for anybody who really just wants to leave the salon with their hair looking like locks. This is called the instant lock method, and this is how I do it my way. So this is my mannequin. Her name is Beauty Star. My husband named her. I had asked on one of my earlier YouTube videos if anybody can come up with a name. I'll choose the best name, and he's the only one who offered a name, so her name is Beauty Star. This is what she looks like, the beautiful black queen. We have our matching red lips, and this is 100% human hair. If you want to start your locks with lock extensions, I highly recommend using human hair for permanent locks. You do not want to use synthetic locks. So in the back, I kind of was experimenting. So I got some braids and I got some twists back there. So I'm just gonna start in the front, and then once I make my way to the back, I'll comb those out. But I'm basically going to do an entire set of instant locks, and I am going to use brick pattern, square pattern, grid pattern to establish the parts. So there are different types of parts that you can use to establish your locks. There are diamond parts, there are triangle parts, there are circular parts, there are organic parts. So do your research and find out which kind of parting system works best for you. I honestly, since having micro locks, have fallen in love with brick pattern or grid pattern, which is a series of squares, because I love to have that middle part. I used to love wearing my hair to the side, but since having micro locks and coming back to traditional locks, I like having that middle part to be able to wear my hair in half and have that nice crisp part going all the way through, or to be able to wear my hair in a bun. And the part doesn't even have to go all the way through to the back, but at least to here, I like to have that middle part. So if that sounds like you, I definitely recommend the brick square pattern. Now, if you hear any noise in the background, I apologize. I do have a family, and it gets noisy around here. But I did purchase a mic yesterday, so a noise canceling mic. I will be using that to make my future videos, and hopefully that will help with the sound quality. I am fairly new to YouTube. I did have a YouTube way back in the day when I was in school, but I wasn't really on YouTube like that. So I am learning as I go. But I did study communications and media studies in college, so making videos and editing videos is kind of my jam. It's something that I love to do and something that I enjoy. YouTube allows me to be creative in the way that I like, and even if only a handful of people watch my videos, I still have some kind of satisfaction from creating. So if you are a creator and you love to create, but you're nervous about putting yourself out there, boom. If you're not gonna do it for anybody else, do it for you. God has given us, each of us, talents and creative gifts, and I think one of the ways we can stay happy and fulfilled is to practice those gifts. No matter if we're actually making a huge profit off of it, or how many subscribers or followers or viewers we have, just do it for you, for the love of it. How big do you want your locks? Do you want thick locks, medium size, small, extra small? Do you want micro size locks? This is very important. And I'm a perfectionist. I've tried almost every size of locks, and I will say that for me, I do prefer the bigger size, the thicker size locks, because I think because of my hair texture is very soft and very fine, even though I do have a high density amount of hair on my head, I think for me, the thicker locks gives me that voluminous look that I want, and also gives me the strength that I want within my locks, because I feel like when your hair is coarser, it's actually stronger than when your hair is more on the fine side. So I feel like mine is kind of medium between coarse and fine, but at high density. So I often look like I have very thick hair. I just have a lot of hair strands on my head. So for me, I think the thick locks give me the strength and the integrity I want with my locks. When I have the micro locks, I feel like they're more fragile, and I don't like that. I want my locks to be thick. I got 2 little boys who love to play in my hair, and I don't really like to do my hair that often, so having them be thick, it's easier to get them done. So I am going to also give my girl hair some thick, juicy locks. I also really like wigs, to be honest. I love the look of wigs. I just don't see me with like 12 locks on my head. That's too big, but I do like seeing it on other people. So now that I have my section parted off, and you can see this is how big we're gonna go. Because the hair on my mannequin is on the finer side, I'm going to use this comb to nap it up. So you go like this, and that helps nap it up and helps make the hair thicker. You can already see it's getting thicker, and this is why this is called the instant lock method, because by the time you're done, your locks will look like mature locks, but they're still gonna go through that maturing process where they shrink and expand, but you kind of have a little bit of a vision of what it will look like when it's fully mature. So you are going to lose a bit of length when you do this method, because you're kind of combing the hair back on itself, so you lose a few inches. But as your locks grow, you're going to gain those inches back probably in the first year or so. I also like this method because this method can work on pretty much any hair type, no matter your nationality or your race. This instant lock method will work on any type of hair. So I'm using this 2-pronged crochet hook. I have 1 and I have 3, but 2 is literally my go-to. 1 takes too long. 3, it makes it too tight. I don't like the locks to be too tight. I want them to be fluffy and light. I don't want them to be compact, hard, and heavy. So I like the 2-prong method because it allows me to establish the lock fast. So as I'm going in and out like this, I'm also kind of just wrapping the hair around, wrapping those loose strands and pulling them into the lock. And that is how the lock is created. And then if you want a more cylindrical, neat look, you can then finish up with a palm roll or a locksmith method to smooth out those strands. But as your hair matures, the frizziness will eventually go away as the hair strands will naturally be pulled into the lock. One of the things I am such a lock enthusiast and why I encourage lots of people who are thinking about locks to just go ahead and lock up, because it's just a carefree way of having your hair. And especially for people of African descent, where oftentimes we have a lot of stigmas around our hair. Locks allow our hair to thrive in their natural state, without chemicals, without products. I literally put oil in my hair to moisturize it in water, and that's really it. I use natural oils such as castor oil, grapeseed oil, vitamin E oil, jojoba oil. What else? I use like lavender, a lavender shampoo. Like if the soap gets into your eyes, it doesn't make you teary-eyed, and the ingredients are all natural. So I love that shampoo. I use it for my boys. I also use it for myself. And I also am been using lately shea butter and mango butter for my skin. And so as I'm applying it to my face, I also rub it into my hair. But the that's one of the reasons why I like Locs. It saves me so much money because I can maintain my hair myself without having to go to the salon. But if you do have micro locks and you have to get it done, I'm told it can get very pricey. So that's just another reason why thicker locks or medium-sized locks are more appealing, because it's going to cost you a little less to get them done, being that most locticians do charge for the quantity of locks that you have. So I'm just going to go through, get my locks established, and then I'm going to clean up my locks and make them neater. So we got our first lock. This is what it's looking like. When you wash it, the locks are gonna lay flat. They won't get stiff like this, but this is what it looks like initially when you do instant locks. They're very stiff, and you kind of have to wash the hair to get them to lay down and be more flexible. Another thing I like to do when I'm establishing locks for the first time, especially for children and people who are very active, I like to interlock the root. And this is just when I'm starting. You can continue with the interlock method if you want, but you don't have to. Some people like to use the interlock method because they want neater parts. I usually just use it to establish the locks at first, so that while they're in the locking process, they can stay neat and they don't slip out when you're washing your hair. So I'm gonna zoom in so that you can see this a little bit closer, what I am doing. So I'm just keeping the part the same. And because her hair is straight, and even though it's straight, but it's also thick, I'm going to do a brick pattern, not a grid pattern, for these locks. So the squares won't be lined up. So the squares won't be lined up exactly. They'll kind of be like adjacent, that like a brick house. Alright, so we're gonna thicken up the hair like this. Your girl's looking a little crazy. She's looking a little like buckwheat, but like I said, once we wash the locks, they're gonna look the way we want them to look. So for the interlock method, if you don't know, it's kind of like a compass. Well, I like to look at that one. There's different ways you can do that. You could do a compass or you could do a clock. I prefer the compass. So the compass would be north, south, east, west. And the clock, of course, would be 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. But for me, I like the compass direction for interlocking. So I like the 2-point rotation. I tend to do west to east, north to south, or vice versa, east to west, south to north. So for this, I normally just do one rotation in the direction where I want the hair hair to fall. So I'm gonna go north to south. I want the locks to lay down in her face so she can have a little bang. And then after I can wash the hair, it will, loosen up the stiffness. And one of the things that I love about using the human hair doll to make the locks is that even though this hair is dead, it's not on a growing scalp, the hair will still lock up. So when I wash it, it's still gonna get frizzy and start to go through that lock process. So another reason to go with human hair if you're going to go the extension route and extend your locks. And I know that's pretty taboo among some people. They believe you should start locks with your hair and your hair alone. I don't believe that. If you decided to cut your hair off, you're growing it out, you don't like the way it's looking, you don't want to do braids, you want to do locks, but you want to have some hang time, I don't see anything wrong with putting in human hair lock extensions that you paid for with your money. And then if you want to keep them forever, that's your business. And if you want to trim them as they grow out, that's also your business. So I do recommend that if you are going to get lock extensions, to get human hair. And that you don't get the extensions too long or too heavy for the length of your hair. Because let's say, for instance, you only have an inch of hair. You don't want long extensions down to your tailbone, because those extensions will fall out because you don't have enough hair to hold them onto your head. So I would recommend maybe doing this a couple inches so that your hair falls to maybe your neck. And then as your hair grows, you can always add longer extensions, or you could clip them out. I've done that before. Started with extensions, and as my hair grows out, I clip the ends, just because for the longevity of your locks, you want to have less weight on them, especially if you're going for thicker locks. You don't want thin locks. The weight of the locks, the extensions, will actually thin your hairline if your hair is not strong enough or healthy enough to hold on those extensions. So keep all of that in mind, and not every loctician is going to tell you that, because some locticians just want your money. They don't really care about the health of your hair. So keep all that in mind. So I'm on to the second brick layout for these locks. I'm just sticking up the locks. I'm going to show you the part, what it looks like. So this is what I mean by brick. You're going to take your tool. I like to have the hooks facing upward, but it's totally up to you how you want to do it. Actually, that's not true. Do I like it facing? Yeah, I like to have it facing upward. And as I'm pulling the hair in and out of the shaft, I'm twisting that lock. And as I'm twisting, I'm just getting those loose hairs wrapped around the lock so we can smooth out those frizzy ends. Now, if your hair is curly, I should have bought the curly hair mannequin, the human hair that was curly, but I was being cheap. The straight hair was on sale by like $5 less, and I got that one. And so straight hair is harder to manipulate than curly hair. So this is not going to really look the way I want it to look until after it's washed. So with this extra hair that is just down here, I don't want it to be stringy and nasty on the ends. So I'm just going to take that hair and interlock it in the lock. And just bring that loose hair up the shaft. But yeah, the curly hair mannequin would have been way better. But I was being a frugal mommy and trying to save my coin. And I got the straight hair mannequin. Well, actually, I didn't know the hair was going to be straight. It looked like it was straighten, and I thought that once I washed the hair it would go curly, but no. This is straight human hair. It has a little bit of wave to it, but not much. So I'm guessing this hair is probably from an Asian scalp. That's what the hair is looking like. The strands are thick, and most people don't realize, but Asian hair, one of the reasons why it can grow so long and as fast as it does, the actual hair straps and strands are thicker than hair from other ethnicities. So this is looking like Asian, Oriental Asian hair. I was hoping for Afro kinky hair, and I didn't get that. So I'll make it do what it do though, because I got skills like that. I can still work with this hair. It's just a little bit more challenging to work with. So this is what it looks like. Once again, I'm going to interlock the root. These interlock tools, they're by Kiss, I believe. No, they're not by Kiss. They're by a company called Annie, and it came with a pack of 3. I got them at my local beauty supply store. So this is the one for bigger locks. This is the one I used when I had my micro locks. It's smaller and it has a hook, which makes it very easy to go in and do your thing. And then this is a medium size tool. So this is the tool that I used to use with my son's hair when I was locking it up and I wanted to keep it neat at the root. But my boy's hair is pretty much locked. Each of them have had their locks for about a year and a half, give or take. So their hair is fully locked at this point. I no longer need to use these tools because their hair is not going to unravel. I just crochet it when I need to crochet it at the root to keep it nice and neat. But for the most part, I twist and I use the palm roll method to retighten our hair. And I retighten our hair probably, I want to say once a month. Once a month for me. For my boys, probably once every other month. They don't like their hair combed, and they're little boys. I let them be little boys. Their hair is still neat and cute, and their locks are not combining. So that's good. As long as their hair is not marrying, I just keep them separated at the root, but I don't retwist it often because they don't like it retwisted often. So I try to work with what they like. And then if we're going out, let's say to a wedding or a birthday party, well, maybe not a birthday party, but something more fancy like a wedding, or if they have something coming up with school like a graduation, I'll make sure to retighten their hair before those special events and give them a haircut. So both of my boys have undercuts, so they only have locks in the top half of their hair, and I think that's a great way to style boy locks because you have less to do. Keeps their hair neat, especially for little children who are tender-headed and don't have their hair combed. Locks are a great option, and so the undercut works well for them. I also used to have an undercut, and I miss it sometimes. I had an undercut for about, I want to say 2 to 3 years. From 2020 to 2023, I had an undercut. The last 3 rows of my locks, I cut them off, mainly because I was having tension from I was having tension headaches from the length of my hair. My hair was at my tailbone at that time. It was the longest my locks had been. I just had a baby. So just to make life easier for myself, I gave myself an undercut to make my hair lighter and to get rid of those headaches. And it did help. Sometimes think about getting another undercut or shaving the sides of my head, but then I'm like, nah, I'll leave that to the boys. So I'm just gonna interlock this at the root. And as you can see, beauty star, she's becoming a Rastafari. Rastafari. So I am going to do this side and then go to the next side and speed this up a bit. So here I am once again doing the back comb method. As I'm instant locking, I am twirling the hair to gather the loose strands into the lock. So twirl, push the crochet hook in and out, and I'm folding the end of their hair inwards to blunt the tip because I want a nice round tip, and I want the lock to be as thick on the bottom as it is on the top. Some people like to leave the end loose and curly or wavy. I prefer the blunt tip just to have a more uniformed look. And then I followed up with an interlock at the root to make it nice and neat and so that the lock could fall down. Now I'm going to part towards the rear of the head. So you want to do your parts along the direction you want your hair to fall. So because I want the hair to naturally fall towards the back, I'm going to start doing the bricklayering pattern towards the back half of the hair going downwards. Some people can have a variation of lock sizes where some locks are small, some locks are big, some locks are medium size. However, I like my locks to be uniformed and to be generally the same size. If your hair is thinning in the front or the rear, I recommend making those parts a little bigger because the lower density sections of your hair won't full out as nicely as the middle of your hair or the crown of your head where your density may be thicker. So around the perimeter, towards the front of your hair, around your ears, towards the back, if your hair is thin in those sections, make those parts a little bigger so that the locks as they mature will be the same size as the rest of your locks, if that's the look you're going for. If you want to have different sizes, that's totally up to you. So if you have made it to this portion of the video, do me a favor. Log into your YouTube account, subscribe to my channel because you obviously like what you see, like this video and a few of the others that I have, and leave a comment if you have locks. For how many years had you had locks? I would like to do more educational videos like this where I share with you how to color your locks, how to style your locks, but I need 50 subscribers to be able to do live sessions on YouTube. Like, leave a comment, all the things. Thank you so much in advance. I want this channel to be able to grow, to be able to share more information with like-minded individuals and creatives, whether you are a mom, whether you are a lock enthusiast, whether you want to know more about nutrition and diet. Definitely stay tuned to my channel because I'm going to be focusing on motherhood, locks, and food. So as you can see, I am adding more instant locks towards the rear of the head. I'm almost done. I have some braids and some interlocks in the back that I did a while ago, and I'm eventually going to comb those out and add locks back there as well. But for now, I'm just going to focus on the loose hair in the front. If you just started your locks and you are concerned about how they look and you're thinking about combing them out or giving up, locks are something that take time and patience. So I would give your locks at least 1 full year. Let them lock up fully before you decide to comb them out and start again. And I know what it's like to be a perfectionist with my locks, wanting to have a different parting system, wanting to have a different quantity. Really and truly, locks are something that's supposed to be very carefree, very laid back, supposed to make your life easier, not more complicated. So don't overthink it. Give it time, let them cook, and I guarantee you will get the results that you're looking for eventually. And you can always combine your locks. You can always comb out a few, divide them if you want a different size. But before you comb out your entire locks or cut them off, give it some time. Give it a year at least, I recommend. Take it from someone who had locks for over a decade. I've had locks for 13 years. I've had 3 sets of locks during that 13 years. I had my first set for 11 years. 11 before I started to experiment with my hair. So give it time. Trust me, you're gonna get the looks you want if you're patient. So here I am doing the last set of locks on the right side at the crown. Once again, I'm back combing the hair, then instant lock, then blunting the tip, and then interlocking the rest to give that blunt look. And then I'm gonna do an interlock at the very top at the root, going downwards so that the lock lays down in the direction that I want it to go. And when you're retightening your hair, you can also keep this in mind. So this is what your girl is looking like. With her thick locks, they're looking more like wicks. So I finished the left side. I'm gonna do the right side and come back. But here you can see the amount of length that was lost with the instant lock method. So maybe like 2 to 3 inches, but those inches, they need to be lost because your girl needs a trim. So I'm gonna wash it, trim up the ends, and give you guys a finished look. This is what the straight side looks like. And in the rear, I have different types of locks. So I did a different demonstration where I showed you different lock methods. I wanted to do it over more efficiently. These are the lock extensions that I added. This is the twist method. This is the interlock method down here. Interlock, interlock. This is a thick interlock. Medium size, small. This is enough. This is the instant lock that I just did. And this is the braid method. So you can start your locks various ways, but I do recommend for straight hair or any type of texture, instant lock crochet method is a very good way to start your locks. You can do back combing method like I'm doing. You can solely do using the crochet hook. It's up to you. But I think the combination of the back combing and the instant lock with the crochet is going to work best for straight, wavy hair texture. For afro curly, kinky hair texture, you can just use your crochet. There's no need for back combing because the hair is already curly. So I am going to do the right side of the mannequin's head, come back. I'm gonna spritz it a bit so you can kind of see what it looks like when it's not frizz. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So here is the big reveal. This is what your girl is looking like after I spritzed her down and I put a little silk scarf on her hair to lay these locks down. So this is the instant lock method. So no matter your race, no matter the grade of your hair, if you do the instant lock method, your girl is wet, her hair is damp, you will leave the salon with locks. Not braids, not twists, not coils, locks. And as time progresses, they'll compress, they'll shrink, they'll get tighter, and as they grow, they'll begin to expand and swell. Just think of your hair like a growing chia plant. The more you water it and take care of it, the more it will grow, transform like roots of a tree. And she's looking real good. I am feeling this look on my girl Beauty. I like the locks better than the straight hair. I love the uniformity of it all. So let's spin her around to the side. What the side is looking like. This is what the back is looking like. She still got, her undercut that is like a little unicorn undercut. But I am eventually going to comb those out and add the locks there so that I can color and style, add extensions. And remember, in order for me to make more educational videos and live streams on YouTube, I need more subscribers. So subscribe. Tell a friend if you would like to see me do some lives. I had to do it on TikTok because I don't yet have those features on YouTube. But I believe that I can get there with your help. So this is what the other side looks like. And now we're going to count the locks to see how much total we have. So if you're starting your lock journey, I just want to say, make sure you get yourself a espresso bottle like this. You can get it from the local dollar store, Walmart, Sally Beauty, etc. People say not to wash your locks, but let me tell you, water is your locks' best friend. You can wash your locks, depending on the technique, the first week you get them. So if you do the twist method or the braid method, the micro lock method, you may have to do the banding method when washing your locks so it doesn't slip out. But if you do the instant lock method, you can wash your hair that very same day. And you won't have, if they're done properly, you won't have to worry about your locks slipping out. So keep that in mind. If you go to the gym, if you're an active person, you sweat a lot, get instant locks. You'll be able to wash your hair that day, that week, with minimal slippage. Let's count her locks, starting on the right side, then we're going to the left side. I want to see if I did it relatively even. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we got 13 locks on this side. You see that? No stiffness. That's thanks to water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it looks like I did even, and we got 13 on both sides. 13 plus 13 is 26 locks. Your girl she got wicks. That's the far right. She got them Congo. Well, maybe not the Congo, but she got them thick locks. She got 26 locks. Go ahead, girl. And if I do the bottom, I probably could get maybe 2 rows of 3. I can probably get 6 more locks in here. So 26 plus 6, that would bring us to 32 thick locks once I complete the back. But your girl is looking fresh. I don't even got to style it because this little bob looks good. Well, that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share with a friend. And let me know what kind of videos you guys would like to see me do for my live stream, what kind of educational videos you'd like to see about locks or other topics. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much. XOXO, Sophi B.